Right, so because our documentary was a mix of participatory and an observational style documentary, it kind of widened our options with regards to the conventions that we could use. Like in the research, we found out that they do kind of have similar conventions, like using synchronous sounds and the use of handheld cameras and location shooting. Some of the things that were different were that in participatory documentary, we could use like loads of interviews, and we could use a voiceover, which we did incorporate into our own. Normally an observational documentary doesn't allow for that, but we still managed to bring that into ours and break that convention a little to suit our piece.
I think with that we really drew our inspiration from the Educating series, because when watching that we found that the interviews and the voiceovers really helped us like know what was happening, and like because you could see what was happening but maybe you didn't understand the context of why that student was angry or why something was happening. And so with a voiceover and an interview, you then got to really relate to the students and get to know them better. And I just think that like really made our documentary a bit better, because we could then, you know, you could tell what the story was as you were seeing it, and so it just worked out better really.
Another unconventional thing is I think the fact that we used Mr. Ubi, like he's a young teacher, and we portrayed him as really experienced and actually quite good with the students, whereas usually like in the Educating series, if there's a new younger teacher, like they're not as good, and it's the older ones.
And you have do you remember that documentary Tough Young Teachers? And it
teachers and it was really kind of like trying to nurture the young teachers, but how we did it, we made the young teacher really experienced and like threw him straight in the deep end and he was fine.
So that was really, we portrayed him as like countertypical in our media text. Also it was unconventional of us to do it on sixth form students, because usually like the other documentaries are on like the young years, like year 7 to even like year 7 to like year 11, I guess. But we decided, because our target audience was like such a wide range and there were a lot of older people that would watch it, we thought we'd like focus on them as well.
I feel that is like a gold mine with the sixth form students, because I think people don't understand, like some people don't realise how much stress a sixth form student goes through, but also
and
like
it's like the most like social part of their life as well.
And like sixth form students are now young adults, so like apart from school life, we're going through adulthood now, and and a lot of the time our personal lives get brought into school,
that's true.
And so it just made it more interesting.
One of our ancillary tasks was to do a double page spread, and the way that we incorporated conventions in that is that because our documentary was participatory, it did include the filmmakers, so we had the filmmaker doing the voiceover for the documentary, and then in our double page spread we brought that over and we had an interview with the filmmakers, so that helped link them together and highlighted the conventions that we had used in the documentary. Okay, so one convention that we did also use, which was from the observational documentary genre, was that the subjects of the documentary were to like appear as though they didn't know that they were being filmed, and you can really see that in Mr. Ubi's class, where he was teaching them and he was looking at students and the students were looking back at him, and at no point did anybody turn around to look at the camera. So that really portrayed that convention really well.
I found with filming in Mr. Ubi's class, I had to like get up and go to the side of the class, and I couldn't really announce. I couldn't be like, guys, I'm about to film, because everyone would have just looked at the camera. So I just kind of stood up and then filmed for like a long period of time, and then within a few minutes of me filming, like everyone just kind of forgot the camera was there and just got back to the lesson, and that was the perfect footage that we could use, because like right at the beginning everyone was a bit conscious, you know, sitting up straight, that kind of thing. But really, 2-3 minutes in, everyone was just calm, you know, got back to the lesson, and that was the perfect footage to use. It was really good.
Made it seem like so much more natural and real.